Okay, we're going to get started. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Jeff DeLulo. I'm the Chief Region Leader for Philips North America. I'll share briefly that our stated mission is to improve the lives with meaningful innovation of 2.5 billion people this decade, to include 400 million in underserved communities. And why that's important is because we define meeting the needs of the underserved as part of our core mission. And I am joined with Dr. Erin Ferranti today. I'm going to introduce her in just a second, but we're going to set some context with a very quick video about our topic around rural reach in healthcare.
I wanted to participate in the Farm Worker Family Health Program to help others and to educate, to advocate. I think I just wanted to make sure I had the opportunity. The Farm Worker Family Health Program allows the workers to feel that they're getting what they need the most to be able to do their job every day in the best way possible. And I think that's one of the biggest things that we try to highlight and educate with them is understanding when to get the care they need, where are the resources to find, and understanding that there are people that want to help them and knowing that we're on their side. Knowing my experiences can help enhance my patient care. Those components have made me become a better nurse practitioner here at Moultrie, and I think understanding how they all kind of tie together to ensure the best patient care.
Right? I've now watched this video with Erin twice, and she's still beaming because it matters. So let me introduce Dr. Ferranti to you. Erin is an assistant professor of nursing at the Neil Hodgson Woodruff School of Nursing at Emory University, and among many other accomplishments, is the director of the Farm Worker Family Health Program. And we're really excited to talk with you today because this is core and personal to both our organizations. You have a really impressive background. Can you tell us a little bit about your focus areas around health equity?
So I'm a public health nurse by background. Been a public health nurse for over 25 years, and working with underserved populations is what I've been doing my whole life. And so it matters a great deal to me. And so I've been director of this program for the past 5 years, although I've been part of it for almost the whole 30 years that it's been at Emory. And so that's my clinical hat, and then my research hat is that I work on maternal morbidity and mortality.
So you also have been thank you for that, and everything she says deals with establishing some kind of health equity or improving health access. And one of the areas has been working with farmers. Now, the Farm Worker Family Health Program has been in place for almost 30 years at Emory. Can you tell me about some of the things that farmers deal with?
Yeah. So it's actually one of the most dangerous occupations of all. I think fishing may be higher than agriculture. So, you know, you have your typical things with dealing with farm equipment and all of that, pesticide exposure. We've taken care of gentlemen who have burns on their feet from standing in pesticide-laden water. So we raise money to buy boots for them so that they have protective footwear. They deal with a lot of musculoskeletal injuries because of the repetitive work that they do. But the scariest thing that they deal with lately is with climate change and heat illness. So I think the summer before COVID, we had a guy die in the field, had been in the country 24 hours and went out to work in the field and was not acclimated to the heat and died in the heat. So we do a lot of work around educating the farm workers around heat illness, what to look for in themselves and their coworkers, but a lot more work needs to be done.
Yeah, so this is tough living, and I know many of you know what or at least if you haven't walked in the shoes of a farmer, you can imagine what that lifestyle is. You've also done some things with the Farm Worker Program specifically to improve outreach to them with access to care. Mm-hmm. Can you share a little bit about some of the things that your program has done for the farm workers?
Right. So Our program has been in existence for 30 years. We work closely with the Ellington Migrant Clinic, which is a federally funded clinic specifically for workers who are here in this country on H-2A visas, which is the agricultural visa that allows them to work. So that serves as their medical home. But these guys work 16-hour days, especially in the Georgia summer when we have sun up around 6:30 in the morning and it doesn't go down until about 10 at night. It's really hard for them to access health care. So we bring the clinic to them in the field. I partner with a couple other schools to bring multiple health professions down, including dental hygiene, physical therapy, pharmacy, and then we have our nurse practitioners and nursing students. And we're about 100 strong out in the field, taking care of about 100 to 200 workers per night. And we've just purchased, with HRSA funding, a mobile health clinic van, which will enable us to do even more of that work, more year-round.
So you're in a community, but you're also serving multiple counties. So this mobile clinic is going to allow you to kind of reach at a more regular area. You mentioned education as well as seeing farm workers and their families, if I'm not mistaken. What are the types of things they're coming in with? What are you seeing?
Yeah, so I should mention that the 2 weeks that we're there during the summer is set around when the children have migrant summer school. So Colquitt County in southwest Georgia, we have more farm workers in Colquitt County than in any other county in Georgia. And so the school will host a migrant summer school to keep the kids up to the education level. So we do well child visits during the day, taking care of the children. We see a lot of overweight and obesity among the children, a lot of nutrition deficiencies. And I think it's the greatest sin on earth when these are farm worker families who can't afford healthy food. And then at night, we take care of the primarily men workers who come in from the fields. And again, we're seeing, they're young guys. They're anywhere from 18 to 24, so they're pretty healthy, but they are at risk for hypertension, diabetes. I mean, we've gotten a blood sugar of over 500 in the field before. So we pick up on a lot of things that are undiagnosed because these guys have a hard time accessing care, even though they do have access. And I think we're just a reminder that somebody's there and that the healthcare system is there to take care of them.
So one of the things that Philips has been really passionate about is being able to project diagnostic capability into rural areas or low health access areas. We have a small part in this enterprise with you, with Emory, in providing Lumify. And if you look over at our booth over there, you'll see our Lumify mobile, our handheld ultrasound devices, and then also our SmartHeart AEDs. Can you share a little bit what that means to the efficacy of the clinic and how you can actually improve quality of care?
Absolutely. So the AEDs are a gift. I hope we never have to use them. We do deal with heat illness and heat stroke, so there's a strong possibility that we would have to use them, so we're very grateful to have them. But the Lumify ultrasound will enable us to get stronger diagnostics out in the field where, we're just out there with stethoscopes and, doing basic primary care. But to be able to bring the technology to where the patients are expands our ability to, diagnose and treat patients to the full extent.
So I want to talk about this idea of expanding what that care could look like. But first, you mentioned this is a 2-week program in the county. Can you talk a little bit about what you're doing to leverage the time or increase the sustainability of the program over what you're not doing during those 2 weeks? How are you expanding it?
Yeah. So as a public health nurse, that is my core mission, is to make sure that what we do is sustainable and that it's not just for the 2 weeks. So we are engaged year-round, but now having the mobile clinic through the HRSA grant and with Philips support, we are outfitting that van with the latest and greatest medical technology. And we will be out in the fields year-round now and able to send our students down for that clinical training so that they are getting access to providing rural healthcare, mobile healthcare. We're in Atlanta. Most of the resources are in Atlanta. So we have 159 counties in Georgia, and I think about 80 of them are underserved. So we are in one of those counties. So for our students who primarily work in a metro area with the latest hospital equipment to be in a place where they have to really use their skills and really use their critical thinking and use technology in a different way than they use it in the hospital, I think is a great learning experience.
So you said something interesting. Georgia is not unique in terms of where healthcare practitioners are going. They're going to urban areas where the better hospitals are. Rural health is getting increasingly harder to be able to fund and even recruit the next generation. So you said you're bringing students into the field. This is not just you as a healthcare practitioner. You're actually bringing students into the field to help them learn. Have you seen an increase in the interest of folks pursuing maybe rural health opportunities as a result of that?
Yeah, very much so. So the two missions of our program is one, to expand care to migrant farm workers and their families, and second, to train students and to open their eyes to the possibility of rural health and mobile health. So this is a 30-year program. It's been a hallmark program of Emory School of Nursing for a long time. It actually serves as a great recruitment tool for students who are interested in public health and want to serve underserved communities. And I was just telling somebody else, we've been around long enough to see that some of the children that we've cared for, this always gives me chills, have grown up to then become providers themselves. So.
It's incredible. And I want, for the folks that are listening, imagine everything that we're doing with Emory, or everything Emory is doing, is leveraging commercially available technology today. It's not new. It doesn't have to be over-invented, or it's a shift in business model to be able to leverage digital reach out into these communities. But it takes a very close partnership with providers that are willing to go there. So do you see an expansion of this capability beyond even what you're doing with farm workers today? Could you imagine in rural Georgia other applications?
Absolutely. I mean, migrant farm workers are not the only ones who don't have easy access to health care. So with my research hat, maternal mortality, we have one of the worst in the nation in Georgia. The whole Southeast really struggles with that. And we are closing labor and delivery hospitals by the bucketful. And so women are losing access to delivery hospitals. They're having to travel hours. I sit on the Maternal Mortality Review Committee for the state of Georgia, and access to care is one of the reasons women are dying. So to bring a mobile van and be able to do some of this work and bring, technology to them. Women are dying in the postpartum time period. We're doing a great job of taking care of them during pregnancy and make sure they have a successful delivery. They go home and they come back into the healthcare system, and we're not listening to them, and they're not being paid attention to. So, and they've traveled hours to get there, and then they get sent back home. So it's a tragedy, but bringing healthcare to them when other, facilities are closing, I think will be a huge step.
So this is interesting. So you actually have, you're reaching a population group, but that same technology can be used for maternal health, which is a particular area of burden because of the lack of OBGYN, not just in Georgia, but nationally. So that's incredible. So last question for you. I haven't felt like a passion coming from you about this topic at all today. So my question is, of all the things, you are wildly excited about the access to care and farm workers specifically. Why is it such a big deal to you personally?
I truly believe healthcare is a right. I know that's debatable, and in this country we don't necessarily believe that healthcare is a right, but as a public health nurse, I very much do. So, I mean, I think I'll never quote it perfectly, but Martin Luther King said one of the worst humanity is to not have access to healthcare or injustices in healthcare. And as a nurse, I see that firsthand, and to see what is possible with just basic primary care and just giving people access and taking a blood pressure in the postpartum time period and listening to patients, we could make a world of difference.
So digital health unlocks that potential for people that will never have access to care like those that are sitting in these chairs today. Dr. Erin Ferrante, thank you for the work you're doing for the people of Georgia and how you're stretching us all to think more about health access. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you to Philips and all of you.